And hello, everybody. It is Tom Chenault, and it is the Legacy Leadership Radio Show. And we have got a delightful show with us today in the form of Sean Murphy. But he's not actually a show with us, he's a person with us on the show. And we've also got the one and only Adrian Chenault. And it was so awesome when I walked in this morning, because what did you say? Hi, influencer.
Hi.
Thank you. So Adrian has pointed out that every show that we've had, like over the last month and a half since I became an Instagram influencer, I've opened up the show with that completely worthless information. And I promise not to do it again, but I've never fulfilled a promise to him since he was a little boy when I promised to take him to England, and I never took him. And then 30 years later, he's doing a personal development course where you go in and apologize. And he goes, Dad, you need to apologize for not taking me to England, which I thought was pretty long to hold a resentment, wouldn't you guys? So here we are, and we're having a blast. And I now have 11.8 million views on my Instagram feed. And I am telling you, I am feeling worthy. Now we go over to the one and only Sean Murphy, who will be introduced to you by the one and only my little boy, Adrian Chenault.
Oh my goodness. I am so happy to have Sean G. Murphy on the show. He helps people in all manner of ways of shifting their mindset. And what I'm really hopeful is I really need an attitude adjustment with regard to my childhood experiences. So I figured we could just kind of rehash all that stuff live here on the show today. But we are going to have some fun. I just love this guy. He's so generous. In fact, we were talking just before the show, several years ago, we put on an amazing event called Connect right here in Longmont, Colorado. And in fact, Sean, I just thought about this. I have a Connect coffee mug in my hands right now.
From those days. Good.
And I love it. We knew for sure there was only one person we could ask to come into town and be the MC. And that person was Sean Murphy. And he came in and went so far above and beyond. It was just unbelievable. And that's just who he is. So Sean, welcome to the show. How the heck are you, buddy?
I'm doing outstanding. Hey, listen, I get to be in the shadow. Now I know I got to kind of have a feeling of what you feel like standing in the shadow of your father. I get to be in the shadow of his presence of 12 million views. Oh, my aching back. I'm excited.
I am telling you, it's a number. We were talking before the show because we thought I wouldn't bring it up. But I got people calling me trying to buy it and give me revenue. And I said, I have to talk to my agent, Sean. So that's what we were doing today. And we are getting ready to dance, man. We're going to hit the big time. I'm going to be everybody's phone alarm clock if I pull this off right. Your phone will go off. You'll look at it, and there you'll have me barking at you like I did on that thing.
That will get you out of bed for sure.
So, Sean, you're living the life you dreamt of your life that you've got now down on the lake. You did it. It has come to fruition. So many people have gone to that place and come home and said, it is unbelievable. I just want to first say congratulations to you, to Michelle, to Mason, the new college graduate, and all those goats, because it's crazy what you pulled off.
It is. And it's one of those things that if, kind of like the saying we would say 20 years ago, if you stay in long enough and you work hard enough, you'll eventually win, right? If you can outlast delays, if you can outlast failure, you're going to win. And failure isn't a failure until you decide to quit. So you never quit. Dominic never quit filming you while you got 12 million views. Adrian never quit. So we're still doing it. And when you never quit, people call you one thing, lucky.
Oh yeah, that's all I'm hearing.
Matthew Jameson in the house.
We love Matt Jameson. That's what everybody's telling me about my Instagram thing, that it was lucky, and I go, no, it's skill. But I don't think I'm right. So keep going.
Well, it was a skill only you could have that somebody else was able to help you create a visual for it. So, and that's what most people have. Everybody has a skill in them. Yours is to be that one that makes people scratch their head and their eyebrows furl. I mean, it's a gift you have. None of us could do what you do, Tom. some of us wouldn't want to do what you do, but we can. I mean this in all sincerity. We were talking earlier about, you have AI, actual intelligence, that you have this desire, this spirit, this want, and this light inside of you, that if anybody gets in your circle, they're going to go, okay, buckle up.
What's going to happen?
Yeah, we all leave the airplane going, could I have one of those extended seatbelts? Because I'm going to see Tom Chenault. I'm going to need it. Buckle up when I get there.
So here's what I want to ask you now. Have you ever heard of a television show called The Untouchables?
Oh, yeah.
Who was the star of that show?
Oh, I'm not that old.
Elliot
Ness.
And who are you now? Sean Ness. Take it off.
Got it.
So I think what he meant to say next is, what the heck is NESS?
NESS. What's it mean?
Well, it's something I've worked on for the last 4 decades, and it finally got a name. It's called Neuro Energetic Self Sculpting. It comes down to when we have a thought and we feel in our body, right? The phone rings and we have this feeling in our body. That's a neuro encoded message. That's the way we respond, right? Everything in our life runs through our brain. As a certified brain trainer, an elite brain trainer from the Amen Institute, Dr. Daniel Amen, we have to work on this. And one of the reasons that I've been able to achieve some of the things that I've been able to achieve is simply not because of my skill and not because of my talents, because I worked on my brain. I worked on that thing that causes me to retract when rejection shows up. It's not rejection. It's protection from that person, that they want to protect their money or protect their time. And it's this change the way we look at things, as Wayne Dyer would say. So the things we look at change. And so Neuro Energetic Self Sculpting, we're responsible. If a personal development worked the way it was designed to work, if everybody who read Think and Grow Rich followed the rules, they'd all be successful. If everybody read Science of Getting Rich and followed the 13 chapters, everybody would be rich. Why aren't they? Because their self-talk keeps them stuck. Their story keeps them stuck. So everything has to go through their brain. So I don't need to teach you how to speak better if you're fearful of talking, right? You guys get together and you have this conversation. You can finish each other's sentences because you literally have this neural connection between you. It's called experience. And most people's experience aren't that good, and they're their own worst enemies. So I created a program called Neuro Energetic Self Sculpting, where you can finally work on yourself.
That is a huge deal. And you have been at it for a long time. You've been at it for a very, very long time, but you've been at one thing in particular really consistently very early in the morning for how long?
Now 7 years. This December will be 8 years, a morning show.
What's it called?
It's called The Daily Awakening. Subtitle, Get Out of Your Effing Way. And you can make the F anything you want.
What time of day?
It's 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. So
there's many a day that I wake up and there he is, and I dial in praying he doesn't call on me because I look like I went through the robo wash with the window open. But I will tell you something right now. It is absolutely, and there's a lot of people on here commenting because you are an icon, a legend, and relevant. And it's beautiful, this call he's got. So all of you need to get on that call. If you need a little dose of positivity and knowledge early in the morning, I have no idea how much it costs, but it's worth it. The juice is worth the squeeze.
There's no fee. It's unlearnme.live. Go to unlearnme.live and you'll find the link.
That's so good. All right. I was just going to ask you. Here we go. Unlearnme.live.
Yep.
That is so awesome. And 7 years in a row is a long time to be doing that, buddy.
Yep. Well, it's only long if it's boring.
Yeah.
And right. It's kind of like, the guy sitting next to you. It'd be really a long time to say, this is my dad. Oh my, but it's not boring. He makes life not boring.
It would be easy for me to have a resentment towards you. Should I be the resentful type? Because somebody is on here who is an amazing human being in his own right by the name of Chad Williams. And Chad Williams was down in Texas being mentored by Sean. And Sean said, Chad, you're like too much of a handful. I think you ought to fly to Colorado and hang around with Tom Chenault for a while. So instead, Chad drove his car to stay for a week, and he was here for 3 years. And he's still like a son to me, even though he's my age. I love the guy. You did me the biggest favor of my life. Chad found you, and you found Chad, and you blessed me with that man. And I saw the impact that you had on him, and it made me realize the man you are when no one's looking. And I just want to thank you for that, because otherwise I would have never known Chad Williams.
Well, and the only reason that I could be a hero in Chad's life is because you've been a hero in mine. And we've had conversations, whether it's at the ANMP or at different events, where we go off a little bit and have a cup of coffee. And all of a sudden you're saying, listen, if you know anyone, the stories I've heard about the way that you've gone out of your way to serve people, the way you've gone out to just make sure they're okay. And then the evil tricks you play when you send somebody a box that's a gift from them. While Harvey rest of the story, that one y'all got to pay for to hear that story.
No, they don't, because we don't have to say the guy's name.
No, I know.
So here's the deal. We go down to, this guy is so famous, you can't believe it. And everybody is swarming around him. And then when we all got in another circle, it was like he still was here, because his cologne was so strong that it literally gravitated onto all our clothes, and we're all gagging, and I've got a rash. So I came home to Colorado and went and got a box and put a bottle of rat perfume in it and sent it down to Sean and signed that guy's name and just said in the card, thought you'd like a bottle of my cologne. And then I signed the guy's name, and that was the practical joke. But Sean thought that was rather mean.
Well, and we kid about that, but here's the thing. Just like every event anybody goes to, people go to Walmart. The cologne is the energy. It's the self-sculpting that people have been around. It's the story. It's the intentions that people have. It's the perceptions that we have. And those things linger with people when they leave, whether it's Walmart or any store, or their national convention, and they go home and they reek of lack. They reek of, I should be better. They reek of this. And it's so strong, like that cologne was, that it's worth it's a long story. And most people, I think you said this to me, die at 25. We bury them at 60 because they never have waken up to their dream. They never realized, that guy didn't realize his cologne was as strong as it was. Right. And we never realize how stuck we are until we start getting around people who are not stuck. That's why people hang around you. That's why when you say, you're taking a flight and you're going to Oklahoma or Costa Rica or Florida, people want to meet with you.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have just this ability to help them say, life can be better. And if I can serve you, let me serve you. So that's how we got together. That's how we found each other.
We met through Kiki Wallace many, many years ago. And remember those?
I forgot that.
Yeah, so that's how long. I mean, it's been so long. And I got a call out of the sky blue from somebody talking about this monster business guy by the name of Sean Murphy. And it turned out the guy that did it was a dear friend of mine named Kiki Wallace. That was the credibility to have me talk to Sean on the phone. And I fell in love, and I've been chasing him ever since. And that's how that went.
Well, yeah, there's been a couple of times where we've had phone calls where we were chasing each other, but we won't go into the rest of those stories.
Oh my gosh. So Sean,
Elaine Linus, I love you. Good to see you, Elaine.
She's a beast.
All right. So you've been around the network marketing profession for a long time. You are somebody who's been thinking about and working on personal development for a really, really long time, or personal undevelopment, as it were. And I do want you to unpack the distinction that you're making there. But as we, in one sense, I think the world is changing the fastest I've ever personally experienced right in this moment. And what feels different about that, and what feels like confirmation that the principles of what it means to be a human being never change?
Those competitions where they stack the cups and they can stack the cups up and they stack them and restack them and pop.
Yeah.
The reason they can stack those cups so fast is because there's nothing in the cup. And that's what's happening right now. There's nothing in the cup. And what I mean by that, it could be the greatest product. Most of the products are fantastic products. Just to even enter into a networking distribution model, it is required you have world class. When the thing that's in the cup, it's the own personal story. It's their own conviction. It's their own conversation. Everybody wants a tool. Everybody wants a tactic. Everybody wants a strategy. Have you ever had anybody ask you, how do you do that? I want everybody to write this down. How, H-O-W, equals human. And until we put the human back in the how, because the human is, I've got to upgrade. How do you guys put on a show? Well, you can give me all the strategy. If I change myself, if I revamp myself, if I rewire myself, that how becomes possible because I choose better. For 25 years, I've been in this profession of me loving more, MLM, me mentors leading mentors. And the how has always been the first question people, how did you get to the rank? How did you do this? How do you present that? And I said, there's got to be something missing because everybody got a gosh darn good how. They got a company video. They got the new AI tool. They got all of the how. Then how is it not working? Because the cup is empty. They haven't upgraded their humanity, right? So what I figured out in being able to take an organization that I didn't live in the country in Costa Rica and Latin America to 30,000 people in about 17 months is because we made how human. And that's the key that's important. Take the how, make it human. And then, so somebody asked me, how do you do that? I said, who do you become when you get the answer? And you literally watch the body. This is the Neuro Encoding. You watch the body lean back, actually retract, step back out of it because they don't know how they change. Well, if I do it hard enough, long enough, strong enough, in today's fast-paced world, that doesn't work if the cup is empty. So
that's very, very interesting. So much of it is there's more whiz bang answers. There's more whiz bang stuff. You could spend literally your entire life just chasing the next new shiny thing. And there's a whole industry, there's a whole world out there lining up to distract you to death by doing that. How do you break that cycle and think differently and train your brain differently?
Well, your dad probably was around when the Bible, this phrase was written in the Bible. It said, I set before you life and death. Choose life. Epictetus said, for those of you with desire, put it on a shelf until such time you determine what's within your circle of influence and what's outside. Once you make that determination, go back, pick up your desire. You will never have another bad day again. So why in the Bible would it say, I set before you death and life, choose life? Because we are not choosing to take a moment to breathe. I mean, for people to say sunsets are awesome. I don't know too many people who say, oh, I love sunrises. Everybody's sitting at the half end of their day rather than starting their day. If you can get the sunlight on you in the morning in 5 minutes of new day sunlight, I promise you it rewires your brain. But that would require you to not have to be going up 15 hours at night and 20 hours a night. I'm a night owl. People have badges that say I got 2 hours of sleep. I'm like, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this whole chasing. The reason they can chase, right, Adrian, the reason they want to chase the shiny object is because they haven't lit their fire. They put their candle underneath a bushel basket. And we got too many people saying you should be. We got compare-itis. We got everything, right? If the product is free, right? The social media movie, if the product is free, you're the product.
Yep.
The reason everybody wants a shiny thing is because they haven't made themselves a product. When is it time you buy your time back? And that all happens up here. It doesn't happen anyplace else. Doesn't happen in a wallet. Doesn't happen in a grocery store. It happens in your brain. And most people's brains aren't wired for them to take care of themselves.
So is AI helping?
Well, it's doing two things. Kind of like if you listen to a Frank Kern a webinar, it's polarized to magnetize. This is for who it's for, and this is for who it's not. And you're like, oh, I want to be who it's for. AI is when they say, "Oh man, one of the greatest times on the history of the planet to make income." AI is really the differentiator between those who know who they are and those who want to chase what they think they should become. So for most people, the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle works. It's not really serving them. It's not, and it's because it's right. What's that phrase? Crap in, crap out. Product in, product out. AI will give you anything you want. Most people can't dream big enough to make AI work for them.
Wow.
You've got your hosts like befuddled when they're like, "Oh shit, where do we go now? What do we say now?"
So here's where I want to go with that. I want you to unpack the statement you said about AI if you know who you are versus if you don't know who you are.
Right. So most people, one of the things that I ask in the real world is, what question should I have asked you that you would have loved to answer? Right? Those are questions when I'm talking to CEOs, CMOs, whoever. What's a question you love to answer that I didn't ask?
Yeah.
Nobody is asking AI, what question didn't I ask? What question we've just spent 20 minutes in the conversation, texting back and forth or talking. And at some point you should ask AI, because it knows your signal, right? How many of you know that you have a signal? I teach signal and frequency. Frequency is the radio station. Signal is the song it plays. You can go to ChatGPT or Claude or any of the places. That's the frequency. The signal is how you show up on any one of those platforms. And if you're not asking it, you've heard my signal. You've interacted with this conversation. I've created this mathematical formula that you now know who I am. Then the question becomes, what question haven't I asked that would take this pattern you see and help me excel? Nobody wants to do that, because you know what happens? If I ask that, guess who now has the responsibility? I can blame AI for not working, but as soon as I get it, it's my responsibility.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have that much pressure. I don't want to put pressure on me. I want to say AI doesn't work. I want to complain that I put the post out and nobody listened. I put the meme out and nobody listened because you didn't take responsibility. Mm. And that's that comes from something we learned before we learned our name. We were taught shame before we learned our name.
Wow.
And so that just triggers it. That just is, we're these shame beings that when we know how to operate, when we know how to walk in our shame, through our shame, with our shame, we wind up these amazing icons who stand on stage and say, I don't know how it happened. I can tell you, I know how it happened. You gave up worrying about what other people said, called addiction to approval. That's the worst drug in the world. So that's where this is about how would I use AI more? You got to ask, what am I not asking? What am I not, what you've seen more, you've read more. And if I've asked you, I need you to operate like a world-class fill in the blank. What am I missing? What's the signal I'm missing? What's the detail I'm missing that's not allowing me to operate at that level that you can tell from this conversation? And it doesn't take a long conversation for AI to figure that out.
That's pretty cool.
Well, at the end of the day, then, how
is human? Go ahead.
How do we get a hold of you and take a course on how to master this so they can be better network marketers?
So, first of all, if what I've said here landed, the rest of Paul Harvey, the rest of the conversation might be valuable. Doesn't mean we'll work together. Now that's kind of nutsy, right? So you can go to SeanGMurphy.com. You can put my cell phone number up, 469-834-9063. Hundreds of thousands of people around the world have it because I give it out at every event I'm at. I've only gotten a few dozen calls.
Well,
Why?
my phone number is right on my wall, and nobody ever calls me. I feel like an orphan.
And no, it's well, this is how it is. If just having the information, I've got Tom's number. That's all people want to brag about. They don't. Well, what would happen if you called Tom? Oh, hell, I don't know. He'd probably make me change the way I look at things. Yeah. So yeah, Sean G. Murphy, reach out. You email Sean G. Murphy now. All DM me on social media. And here's the question you got to ask yourself. If you really want to have a conversation, I had a mentor say this to me once: make me your first call, make me your last call. Don't make me the call in the middle, because then we'll just argue. Either let me help you start out and absolutely hit it out of the park, or let me help you put some Bactine on your bruised knees and bruised egos so we can get you back into the game. But don't call me to say, oh, I know that. Because if you did, you'd have more of what you want and less of what you don't.
Wow. Remember when I had Harvey McKay send you all his stuff?
Yep. It's right here in my file.
A lot of those cliches that you just pulled up are very similar to his, and you need to write those down because you are very, very good. I'll never forget, I was at a very big conference sitting in the back, goofing around, and I walked up to the front row and I looked down, and here was a transcript of the meeting, just perfectly written, the most beautiful thing I have ever seen in my life. So I waited till that individual went to the bathroom, and I stole them, and I made one serious mistake, which I will never make again. After I stole them, I confessed and thanked him for the notes that he had not given me. And that was Sean Murphy. And I will tell you, you have never met a greater student of network marketing, personal development, and leadership than Sean Murphy. And today I understand why you were a little bit upset at me for doing that without permission. I didn't understand it back then because I was so immature. But I think about the masterminds you're doing right now with the guy that was good friends with Jim Rohn, and the stuff that I see coming out of your mouth, off of your Facebook posts, the people that you hang around with, and you have become a legend among those legends. And I want to acknowledge you for that. And I want people to take advantage of that phone number, that email, and reach out to Sean, because I don't know that you could find a better friend or business mentor out there.
Well, and I know Tom says that about everybody, most everybody that comes on the show. And the reason he says that is because birds of a feather flock together. Seriously. And Adrian, you guys don't have to have everyone on the show. You have the people who you want to make sure they bring value. So I think it's important that when you have this level of excellence that arrives on this show week after week, year after year, decade after decade, people have a tendency to become accustomed to it until, right? And this is why the shiny thing still exists. The legacy conversations that have happened on this show, just this show, of all of the people who have come in, people's lives can be altered, can be transformed. The challenge is most people show up wanting change. Jim Rohn would talk about change, and he'd say, everybody's in a season. Transformation is when you decide that you control the seasons, letting the external control the internal, right? Joe Dispenza says, my personality makes up my personal reality, or I'm lost in this world if my personal reality makes up my personality. So you help people make up their personality to change their personal reality. And that's a huge thing. And we can do it temporarily. I'm saying, why don't we do it? Why don't we fix it so it's permanent? And that's called a rewire. That's called a brain upgrade. Everybody's running Windows 98 hardware and trying to install 2026 software, and it can't. We don't take floppy disks anymore. How do I get in? How do I upgrade the brain? You're running a 200,000-year-old brain that still has fight or flight as the primary response. How do we upgrade that? Well, we can.
Have you run across this guy named Dr. Rewire yet?
Yes.
He's going to speak at the ANMP along with you. And so this is a great segue into going to that event. It's down in Texas at the end of the month, and all of you should go. I mean, it costs no money to go. It's incredibly low priced. They include all your food, 5-star hotel for no money. I mean, it is a baller deal. And every one of you could go take a test drive of the Sean Murphy magic if you went down. Because I'm telling you what, this guy owns the event. They have him MC, they have him tour guide, they have him speak. He is the man for all seasons. And I thank you for that, Sean, because you are amazing.
Well, and you know, that's been around now 20 plus years, and it's still the best kept secret. Why? Because it takes courage to go to events. It takes courage to go to a non-company event because people have certain stories about that. I can promise you, if you wanted to have, some of you aren't old enough, if you wanted to have the Encyclopedia Britannica of success and be able to fill your notebook, that's what this event is, because you get 18 minutes of the best conversation of each individual who's done extraordinarily well, because sometimes you'll get to hear their extraordinarily huge mess ups. And that's the reason that that event is absolutely so powerful. And what Garrett does and Sylvia does and how hard they work to put the whole thing on, it is really one of still the best kept secrets.
One other thing that struck me when you were talking that I need to bring up is among all those people, and that's probably 400 or 500 of the largest network marketers on the planet, I am like network marketing directory assistants. And it amazes me how somebody calls me and asks me for April Brum's phone number, or somebody asks me for Doug Stair's phone number, or all the names I'm looking at all this at the screen, because it is, I mean, we have got to learn to stop broadcasting, start receiving, look each other in the eye, say, what's your phone number? I may be able to help you one of these days. And you're really good at that, Sean. But I think we've got to get more connected at a deeper level, maybe not using our brain. Let AI do that and let our hearts drive the show. What do you think about that?
Well, you know, if you look at one of the things that happens in just the medical field, you know, coronary disease is the #1 killer for women, and you wouldn't think that. And it's because they operate from their heart, but because this is an opinion, this is me, so take what you want with it. The reason they have all of this challenge in their heart is because that's where they operate from, but the society is forcing them in their brain, and there's this disconnect. Your brain is going to work great. Your brain has got some of the best skills and talents that you can't even begin to imagine. You've got the conscious, subconscious, unconscious, your reticular activating system, all of this stuff. Your amygdala is not going to let you get hurt. So if we just move from here to here, you talk about it all the time, fire your brain, hire your heart. This idea that if we could just, I'd ask everybody to do this. I just want you to say the word love. Just love. Right now, just say the word love.
Love.
Did it mean anything yet? No, because we have thrown it away with everything else. It's love and dog poop and park and all of this. If you learn just that word love and learn to say it so you can actually feel it again, you can do it quietly. You can do it in the shower. I promise you, your family will be amazed at the energy that comes out of it. Your community will be amazed. They'll say, wow, what's going on? What's different? Because the frequency that you are sitting in is lack. The frequency you're sitting in is challenge. The frequency you're sitting in is fear. Did I get enough followers? I haven't been able to go to the Bank of the Ozarks and get one follower to pay a check, to pay a bill. But I have had people who have taken care of me and my family. There's Lisa Grossman taking care of me and my family because we love each other. I promise you, some of the things that are happening out there, if love is not in your energy world, you're going to have a very shocking experience in life. That's about as much as I'll say on that. So if you go to the ANMP and get to sit at a table, I would ask you to, how could you just say, hey, listen, I love you guys for being here. Why does that sound so screwy, so weird? People ask, you say that? I say it all the time. I go to the feed store. I tell the guys throwing feed in my truck going, I love you guys. Thank you.
One of my great stories about me, which I love stories about me, is
I was getting tired of talking about me. I was going, Tom, you got to start talking about you.
Denise talks about it all the time. When I first went out with her, the very first time we had dinner, she was the love of my life. I loved her the second I met her. And she was all flattered at our very first dinner that I said, I love you. and she was all puffy and all just drinking the wine like it was going out of style, until I told the busboy I loved him too. And that kind of took the, that's what happens. I tell everybody that, and I fight, it's better than I hate you. And I have to feel like I love everybody. And if I can say it, I can feel it. If I can feel it, I can make change. Or I can carry around hate and all this political divisiveness or religious divisiveness, all of that stuff. No, thank you. I don't want to live there. I want to live love. I want to live in a spiritual world in network marketing with love as my only weapon. And instead of having a weapon, I want you to have a magic wand. I used to carry a sword, Michael Burnoff. I don't know if you know the name. I'm in a big seminar with him. Stops the seminar and pulls me up in the front of the room. Says, Tom, you must be exhausted. I said, why is that? And he says, because you're always fighting everybody's battles. And that's so stupid. Put down the sword and pick up the magic wand. Pick up the magic dust. It's the same thing, but do it with love instead of defense, and be absolutely aggressive with love, and everything's going to change. And he was 100% right. And that's what you do.
Well, and here's the thing. Most people are like, yeah, but I don't know if I could do that. Think you can, think you can't. Either way, you're right from The Secret.
Yeah.
The point is, do you want it? If you don't know if love should be in your world, you're going to chase the shiny object. Adrian said that. Why is everybody chasing the shiny object? Because they haven't found love. You find love. Listen, there's some people in some legacy companies that you would think, good Lord, how are they even sponsoring anybody? I mean, are you kidding me? It's maybe it's an old complex. It's just, you're like, wow, that just doesn't, it's a head scratcher. But you know why they show up? Love. Jim Rohn wasn't the smartest guy in the room, but he was the smartest guy in the room of every room he was in, because he's the one that had the most love.
Look at Lisa Grossman, who's on here. People love her because she's out there loving people. End of story. That's the whole show, is her compassion and love for people is beyond anything I've ever seen. And as a result, literal icons every time say the reason I met my company is because of Lisa Grossman.
100%.
And she didn't do it with agenda. She did it with absolute, genuine love. It is, thank you very much, Kathy Rickley. It is a fact, and it drives the show. And in this business, it's a lot easier than trying to figure out the next funnel, widget, whatever it is they're trying to pick your pocket with. Just love like crazy, then love more. Right, Sean?
100%. There's no other secret. And see, that's the thing. Well, there's got to be something more. That's it, Skippy.
Oh.
That's it.
Hawker. Good. Adrian just told me who the guest was. I couldn't hear him. I'm deaf as a post too.
Leslie Hawker.
Oh, Leslie Hawker from the A&M.
Oh, wow.
And I told her to bring Ron Forrester with her, so maybe we'll have both of them.
I feel like I'm one of those rock shows where I'm the band opener. That's awesome that's like, how awesome to be ahead of them.
Yeah, but what's so crazy, you hit the nail on the head. We get the best people on this show, and you, Sean, are like the best of the best people on this show, and we cannot thank you enough for coming on today. We're now on AM radio, so we have to get out of here. But
Love it.
Go find you can find the replay anywhere. Adrian runs that like unbelievable. He just changed around tomchenault.com, and now there's full archives of all the shows on there.
Oh, I love it.
My little genius son, he finally paid attention to his dad. So I am rolling. You are rolling. Thank you so much, Sean. I love you. I love your son. I love your wife. I love your goats. I love your life. I love your friends. I love your mission. I love your spirituality. Thank you.
Thank you. I love you. Love you, Adrian. You know, get the word in there, Skipper.
That's it, man. Thanks, buddy. We'll see you soon. Take care.
Bye for now.
Bye, everybody.